This question was for a little bit earlier when I forgot what her name was, but talking about reserves. Now, usually like in the books that I've been reading, like Bigger Pockets and stuff, when they say like getting into investing, they say usually like 10K is a good like rule of thumb. So I mean, would it be safe to say like if you have like 10K, that's a good enough like cushion?
So that's a great question. So if I have 10 properties, should I have $100,000 just sitting there? Honestly, my more rule of thumb is the deductible on the property. So worst case scenario, deductible on the property is 5,000, 10,000. I don't know. I want to have $10,000 because what are the chances of three ACs going out at the same time? Now, if you get into 15, 20 units, that might happen more often. And I would hope you have more reserves. But if you have 1 to 5, I wouldn't have 5 properties and then $50,000 sitting in the bank to fund those reserves. I would be a little bit more like, here's 10,000 for 3 properties. If something happens, I can tap into that, right? And this isn't financial advice. This is just the way I've done it. I've never had 3 AC units go out at the same time. I've never had 4 roofs that needed to go, right? And if I did, I'd probably tap into insurance payouts or an insurance claim before I used my reserves to pay for that. So I would use my reserves for under the value of the deductible to buy something in the house, or if it goes above that, then tap into insurance to take care of that. For example, 2 years ago, we had a roof damage at one of our rental properties. The deductible was going to be like 7,500 or something. No, I'm sorry, that's a lie. It was like 1,500 or something, and the repair the roof was like 6,000. I was like, I'm just going to do the deductible. It's not going to happen for another 5, 6, whatever, however long I have on that property, and I'm not going to deplete my reserves that I have. Does that kind of make sense, Angel? But I'd
Yeah.
love to hear from somebody bigger that manages a bunch of properties. Where is the goat, Philip? Let me see if I can find him on here. There he is. I think Philip's in here.
Philip or Tiago?
I'm
Yeah,
here.
either one of them. What do you guys say about that? This is just me because I'm not as big as you guys are.
I don't. I mean, I'm with you. I don't hold a ton of money in reserves. Enough to cover an HVAC, enough to cover a roof. So for our properties, we have 15,000 for that size portfolio, and the cash flow will just replenish that. Within a couple months, that sort of thing. There's actually a company in town and a guy that's done it that I know. There's a roofing company in town that'll finance. So if you need a roof, it's like a credit card, right? Right. They give you like 21% interest on a roof. But what he does is he just finances the roof and then pays it off within like 1 or 2 months. So he may pay a couple $100 in roof interest, but he's not worried about a roof. Same thing with an HVAC. So he actually keeps the less money in his reserves and just finances. And then if he needs to move money around, he can. So I don't do like so when I factor, when I run the numbers on a property, we'll run like, okay, this for maintenance, this for CapEx, but I don't actually save that amount of money. So I just have like the 15 grand sitting in the account, and I just keep all the cash flow. And then if the HVAC goes out, okay, I need 4 grand, pay the 4 grand. And then when the next month comes in, try to throw as much as I can back into that to keep the reserve amount where it's supposed to be. And that way, like, I'm not like $1,000 rent. Okay, 3% to CapEx, here's $30. Here's $100 for maintenance, and like saving it that way. I don't do that. I just put it all over there. When I need it, it's there, and it just keeps more cash flow coming on a monthly basis.
I agree. Ruben, how do you do with your rentals, bro? How much do you keep in reserve per year? And you guys you don't have to answer. I'm just curious now. I have more investors.
So I keep about 5,000 per property. That's kind of where I'm at. And that's, like you said, those big ticket items obviously can run at least that much.
It's a good number. I like that. Solid. Yeah. Diego, what about you?
So I just keep like $25,000 to $30,000, I would say.
But that's for your whole portfolio.
Yeah, $30,000. So for example, my dad owes me $50K, and I know he has the money there, so I can just call him at like, yeah.